Just because two people are laughing, it doesn't mean two people are laughing. One person just chose not to be visibly embarrassed on tape. Like I said, I would never want my bread and butter online to be the factor of, oh, how much can I humiliate my partner online, or how much can I put my kids up online? On today's episode, we're going to talk about why did couple content become mean? Because that's something I don't like.
My baby looking too good, yeah, she perfect. No, she worth it. When she pull up, all them man, them flirting. And yeah, she know that she a dime. Call up on my line. Told her, baby, bring it one time. Yeah. Girl, sit down and
Yo, what's really good, though? It's your girl, Yezzir, and you are locked into another banging episode of Hey Sis UK, the home of uncomfortable conversations. We're out here having the uncomfortable conversations so we can get to a better place. So let's really get into it. We've got the mug right here. Let me go ahead and take a sip. If you're wondering where I got mine from, I'm going to put the link down below so you can get yourself a Hey Sis mug and support the show. If you're not following us, you better be on Instagram, Hey Sis _UK, Hey Sis UK on Spotify, and me, Yezzir. You can follow me on TikTok at Yezzi.Yezzir and Instagram, Yezzir. So let me go ahead and take a sip. This right here that I just sipped on, the drink is called an Ochu Sunset. There's only one place that I get it from. It's Ochu Coffee and Wellness. The address, I'm going to put it down below, yeah? Best drinks in town, London, that is. Guys, you're probably thinking, Yezzi, it's been a while since you've given us a full-on episode. I've been building. It wasn't that long ago that I finished a theatre show. Yes, your girl was on the stage with the Wright Brothers production. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'm back with them. You see, when you have a good pairing, it's like Tyler Perry and Taraji P. You know, when you got a good pairing, you got to bring your girl back. I'm back with them in November for another theatre production. I'm going to put the tickets down below. Make sure I see you there. But guys, there's something that's been weighing on my heart, man, and I got to talk about it. There seems to be something that's on the rise. You know, I make content myself, but there are different types of people that make content. And the type of people we're talking about today is couples who make couple content. Now, what this is that people that make content surrounded on the fact that they are in a relationship, they may do things together, you might see the behind the scenes of their life, is very personalized but centered on being in a relationship. However, on today's episode, we're going to talk about why did couple content become mean? Because that's something I don't like. Now, for me, I love love. I mean, if you don't love love, like, are you some kind of monster? I don't know. I love to be loved on. I love to love. I love to see love. I love to receive love. It's a very nice, warm feeling in your heart. However, there's something about toxic couple content that I don't understand. And a lot of it is rooted in rage baiting, where you say things that are so outrageous that you know that you are baiting out the feeling, the emotion of rage out of people in order to get a response, whether it be positive or negative, you don't care, because all you think about is being popular. Popular. They want to be popular. But yeah, a lot of people just want to be popular. And I ask myself this, when it comes to virality, whether it be follower counts, likes, comments, overall engagement, we forget how addictive it can be. You ever looked at your phone and maybe was a bit happier when you saw a certain amount of likes, or likes from a certain verified account, or acknowledgement, or a certain number of reposts, or you've gone on your story and you're like, wow, that's a lot of views I got. I'm popular. That feeling of popularity is something that people have designed. A lot of people that are well versed when it comes to technology have been able to appeal to humans using psychology to know what it is that will make you stay on an app. If we can make the like button a function that makes people stay here longer, we'll do it. When you get a notification saying, oh, this person liked the same thing you liked, or they reposted what you liked, or they dropped a comment, or this person followed you 2 days ago. Did you know? This constant dopamine of notifications making you feel like I need to be back on this app. Unfortunately, when it starts to seep into what I feel should be a place of sanctity, which is a relationship, whether you are girlfriend and boyfriend, cohabiting, or you're in a marriage, I believe that there should be some boundaries. However, we're in a time that because of virality, because people want to be popular, maybe the popularity that they didn't get in school, they now have it as an adult on the internet. They don't know how to set boundaries. They don't know what is for the internet, what is for behind closed, emphasis closed doors. And that brings me to the point of, when did couple content become mean? For me, if I finish a long day of work and I go on my phone and I'm looking for some sort of entertainment and I'm scrolling through, I don't find any joy out of seeing two people insult each other. So I want to ask you, if you're the type of person that enjoys certain couples who always insult one another, the core of their couple content is being mean and arguing and being loud and aggressive or passive aggressive, I want to ask you, what joy do you get out of seeing two people who are supposed to love each other constantly cuss each other, constantly put each other's insecurities up for discussion on a platter for people to watch and be entertained by it, and even laugh to a point? Because I don't find a lot of that stuff funny. So when you find that funny, what are you exactly co-signing? Because the same people that will cuss out Tyler Perry saying, oh, I don't like how he makes all the lead female characters always go through doom and gloom. You're the same people that laugh at a man cussing at his wife for the sake of likes and comments and reposts on the internet. That, I find that to be very weird, because when we talk about something like being in a relationship and creating boundaries and having a level of respect and love for one another, I would hate for my bread and butter to be on the basis of how far can I push somebody that I say to people I love for the sake of popularity. For me, that's weird. Like I would find another way to make money, because it's tiresome. Because I tell you what, creating content as a whole is very tiring. If you create content with somebody, it's common for both of you not to be on the same level of enthusiasm when you're creating content. There's somebody that has to motivate somebody on different days. Hey, let's make this, or let's do a second take of that. No two people are going to be in the same mood every single day. And if you say you are, that's a damn lie. As someone that creates content myself, who has involved different people in their content along the way, and that's not even on a full-time basis. So imagine having to make content with someone on a full-time basis. There's going to be arguments that don't make the final cut, if you catch my drift. Now, for me, if I see a couple cussing each other out, or they're doing jokes or doing pranks, which is really just a humiliation ritual, because you can't tell me having your insecurities put up there for discussion and everyone to look at is something that you're going to now hide under the guise of it being a joke. No, that's humiliating. Okay. Just because two people are laughing, it doesn't mean two people are laughing. One person just chose not to be visibly embarrassed on tape. Because for me, and I'm going to call a spade, and people are going to be like, oh, yes, it's not that deep. Well, sometimes in life it is that deep. There's always a certain type of hue, yeah, when you have couple content that's led by the man, and you can always tell when it's led by the man, yeah. And it always comes with an element of ridicule, humiliation, and, this is just a joke. If we're going to talk about the culture, traditionally, let's go by gender, yeah, and let's be specific to gender. When men want to build rapport with one another as kids, as teenagers, yeah, the first thing they do, besides from having a common interest in maybe a sport, is that they do poke at each other. There's jokes, and men can take jokes easier than women from one another. They won't look too deep into it, majority anyway. They won't think about it after the fact. They'll take the joke for what it is, leave it on the table, and go about their business. Traditionally, gender-wise, women don't build rapport with one another by making fun of each other and talking about each other's insecurities. That's not how we build rapport. Women build rapport and are more susceptible to building long-term relationships when we build each other up. We will congratulate one another. We will compliment one another on our physical attributes. We don't say, oh, I get along with this person so much because, boy, they can crack a joke, a knee-slapping joke. So when we're talking about man and woman, men and women getting on with one another, and I have a husband, I have a brother, I have male friends, I've never really thought to myself, like we get on so well. because we cuss each other out. Oh man, that's what makes me laugh, man. That's some good times, when he was talking about my physical attributes, that's good times, man. No. Never has been, never will be. So for me, I'm not trying to get onto people or say, oh, you don't understand a relationship. But what I will say is that I'm in a season of minding my business, as in not giving direct, unsolicited advice. You know why? When you laugh at toxic couple content that involves a man shouting at his wife, being passive aggressive to his wife, and touching his wife in an aggressive way, what are you actually co-signing when you laugh? Because when you are laughing, when you're liking, when you're reposting, you're co-signing. You mean that you agree with this type of interaction. Yeah. Don't tell me, oh no, I only like and repost it because that's their banter. So they told you that's how they build rapport. They told you it's their sense of humor and you received it as that. Okay, if they didn't tell you that and you saw that interaction, what would you call it? You call it abuse. No, you would call it abuse. That's technically categorized as a form of abuse, whether it be physical abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse. That's what we would call it. Because my thing is that I don't want anyone fast forwarding a couple years from now and going, you know what, in hindsight, they were doing a bit too much, or, who they were saying they were on camera in a comedic way, there was a sinister side to it. I don't want to hear it. But I will say in the same breath, when you carry yourself in a certain way on the internet, you have to be ready to be perceived in a certain way. And perception is in the hands of the person that's actually looking at you. You can package yourself in any specific way you choose to, but people are going to choose to perceive you how they want to perceive you. That may be negative, that may be positive, and that may be an indifference. Have you ever come across somebody that you go, someone will say, oh, what's your opinion about this person? You go, oh, I don't really have an opinion on them. You don't. You're not a great fan of them. You're not an enemy of them. You're not a hater. You're just not taking it enough to make up a decision on that person. Fine. But when you are specifically in a relationship, I believe that it's your responsibility to covet your partner to some degree and to have boundaries. When people say, oh, the gloves are off and the cameras are on, I find that to be weird. Like I said, I would never want my bread and butter online to be the factor of, oh, how much can I humiliate my partner online, or how much can I put my kids up online? Don't forget to subscribe to Hey Sis UK so you never miss out on an episode. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm not trying to shade anybody, and we all have our pride and joys in this life. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. But I am very skeptical about people who put up content online and the most interesting thing about them is not them. It's their partner, it's their children. When we get into the danger zone, I'm going to break down what I mean about the danger zone. It's very dangerous to put up content and you're the person that's leading the way on the content. You are the person whose idea it is to do the content. And the issue I have is that when you are not the most interesting person in your content, there's going to be difficulties in making sure that things are kept to a certain way you want it to be kept to. There's a lot of couples that after the fact, when they break up, we find out that they've been stockpiling content and they've been releasing it as if they're still together and they're not together anymore. You know why we know this? Because one of the parties had to come forward and say, it's so weird logging online and I continue to see myself with you when you and I both know in real time we're not together. And that's why you get a bit desperate. Because when you are not the most interesting person in the content you're putting out there, there is going to be a neglect in the other person's emotions. Someone's not going to be in the mood to make content. Someone's going to say, I'm not up to it, I'm not feeling it, or I'm not sure about this one. And there's going to be someone that goads them. Come on, let's do it. This is our ticket out the hood. Let's just keep going. You don't know where this is going to go. Look, the last one got X amount of views. Next time we can get 10 million views. Just do it, just do it, just do it. At what point do you say to yourself, it's not worth it? Or you know what, let's take a break. Or this is becoming unhealthy for us. Because I say to myself this, when it comes to the internet, whatever you don't want to be up for discussion, you don't put it up for discussion. And whatever you put out there, be ready for it to be perceived in any which way people perceive it to be. By all means, defend yourself online. If you want to put out a statement on an Instagram story, if you want to put out videos to let people know that, oh no, this is what we're really like behind the scenes, it's fine. But then I always say to myself in the same breath, had people received the content in the way in which you wanted them to receive it in, would you try so hard to convince us that this is not what your relationship is like? For example, when it comes to the toxic couples out there, I'm not saying you can't have fun, but damn, go to a restaurant and recommend it. Travel together and recommend the resort you stayed at. Let us see positive images, because we don't get a lot of that. And I believe if we're going to put out certain serotonin out there, yeah, anything other than chocolate, and we're going to look at certain imagery, why should we get a high or any type of comedic relief when it's rooted in negative things? Comedic relief by seeing people humiliate one another is weird. Comedic relief by seeing people in shock for what the person nearest and dearest to them said in real time isn't cute. And for me, when we start to reward bad behavior, when negative content becomes profitable, at what point do you say to yourself, okay, you know what? This is where we stop. Because people sell their soul every day. People still think that you got to go to the depths of hell, or the devil's got to come out and you got to be swapping blood in a cup before you sell your soul. No, as soon as you go against your morals and values, you sold your soul. As soon as you don't listen to your spirit anymore and you start to put out content that you're like, I don't know about this one, but let's just see. Why are you saying let's just see? Are you saying let's just see because you don't care what it costs when putting out this content? That's what I don't understand. At what point, and I actually want to know this from a genuine couple who does things where it's angled at pranks, or they just, they argue all the time, yeah? And it's really aggressive arguing. It's not witty comebacks. Like, I like a slick, witty comeback. I think that's quite nice. That's funny to see. That's entertaining. But when it's like I have to shout and raise my voice and cuss you and call you out your name. When couples do that, I actually want to ask, do you guys have a limit? Like, prior to recording, do you agree that, okay, we're not going to mention this because, this triggers me. We're not going to mention this because I'd like to set a boundary. I wouldn't want, strangers on the internet knowing this about me. Or do you guys just say whatever and go along with it? Because my gripe is this. When two people are doing something, at some point there's going to be a differing of views. One person's going to go, I don't really want that in there. And there are two ways that the other person can receive this. They can either go, you know what, babe, if you're genuinely uncomfortable with this being in the content, more than happy to edit it out, or we can just scrap this as a whole. There's a plethora of other things that we can do together. Or are you the type of person that goes, nah, babe, you just do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter. Just be yourself. This is about being transparent. It's all about transparency. People relate to people being real. Now, what I don't like is people that manipulate people in order to make viral content. Don't say to someone, do something that they're uncomfortable with under the umbrella of realism when you know that's not something you would be comfortable doing. And that brings me to my notes, yeah? Because it's something that I want to mention. Are we really in an era where we co-sign toxic couple culture? Because the algorithm doesn't care about the emotional aftermath that people go through when they have put something up that is private, maybe should have been kept behind closed doors, and audiences take it in a way that they didn't expect them to perceive it in, and it's very negative. And now you're trying to do damage control, trying to show people that you do love on each other. Like, no, genuinely we do. So if you have content where you love on each other, why did you hold that back? Why did you continuously force feed the timeline with negativity? Is that really who you are as a couple, or is that what you think people want to see? And that's why I say when we continue to reward bad behavior, all it's going to do is make people who are younger or more impressionable believe that, oh, this is how you maintain a relationship because people seem to like and reward this. A lot of people's first instances or first impressions on how to behave in a relationship may come from their parents, close family members, and even TV and film. Yeah, we can't underestimate. A lot of people even learn how to kiss by watching a film. So when we talk about the fact of, toxic couples on the internet, it's not that deep. It is that deep because there are children that will look up to this and say, okay, this is how you keep a relationship. It's okay to behave in an aggressive way. It's okay to raise your voice. It's okay to poke at the insecurities of my partner, because I see people do it online all day and they getting brand deals and partnerships and getting invites to A-list events. Surely that's acceptable behavior. No, it's not. It's weird. And if you are someone that's dependent on having to put your partner out there or having to put your children out there and is always constantly berating them online because people find it funny, remember, the people that are watching your life online that you've put up for entertainment, they will move on to other things. They'll go back to their real life. They will go on to a couple that they find entertaining. But when you switch off the camera, you have to face what it means to have to put your private business out there on Front Street. And I ask myself, and I ask you this, if you're that type of person watching or listening, are you comfortable with doing that? The checks that you are receiving or may not even be receiving, are you comfortable? Is it worth it? So my final takeaway is this: love doesn't need to hurt for it to be entertaining. And when we laugh along with couple content, we are rewarding bad behavior. And we shouldn't laugh along just because it's put under the guise of, oh, it's just content. Nothing's just content, because we've seen case studies and proper examples time and time again where people look to be having entertaining, funny, happy relationships, and then they open up and reveal behind the curtain that, oh no, it's not all sweetness and light after all. And there's a lot of us that go, we know, we could tell, but you didn't want to listen. That's fine. Because like I said, even for me, I'm learning to mind my damn business. So guys, without further ado, I hope that you are locked into all our social media, whether that be Instagram, Hey Sis _UK, Spotify, Hey Sis UK. We got the cups. Make sure you get it. Link down in the bio. I'm in a new theatre show. Hey, in November, yeah? Get the big coats out. We're talking about the minks, okay? When you come and step out, you can see my people. Each and every one of you, my sisters and my brothers watching and listening in the show, I want you to step out looking good. 10 out of 10, nothing less, okay? I'll put the link down below for that. Until then, guys, you have been listening. Oh, I wanted to say though, when it does come to online couples, I want to do an honorable shout out to, there's a few couples I like, but the one that I remember that I like so much is Ling and Lam. Now, those are two people that are a great example of couple content. It's not exactly like, oh, happy, fake, but they don't have to be aggressive to one another. It's funny, it's realistic, it's them living life together harmoniously. Online. They don't give us too much because I don't want to know all your business anyway. They give us enough to be entertained and they go about their way. So shout out to Ling and Lam. Salute to you and love. Until then, guys, you have been listening or watching to another banging episode of Hey Sis. Make sure you stay what? Stay blessed. Bye.
Girl, let me put it on you, no time for chit chat. Because she moves like a queen and I like what I see and I wanna get more of that.
I undress and he blows success. Lay down as you decompress. Come mine and forget the stress. Got the 9 to 5 cause he tryna change his life. He can't help it but to show his bad side. So he call me Yezzi when he want that good ride. Follow my stride, you know you want a good time. Pick any card, I know it won't decline. He know how to please me, never tease me. Keep me in Givenchy.